Hawaii trip, because US Air will always go to Phoenix. That's their main hub. Delta will always go into Salt Lake City. That's their hub. So, but you're within one hop away from Hawaii right now. I don't know if that helps. Yes, sir.
What's the lineup of the food purveyors, the restaurants?
If you look,
The names of them?
the names: McKenna's,
McKenna's?
George's, Greek,
George's?
and you've got Taco Beach, you've got
Polly's.
Polly's, you've got Sweet Jill's, Long Beach Clothing Company on the news on the retail. You've got Long Beach Business Journal on the news and gift, and I know I'm missing one.
Fourth Street Vine.
Fourth Street Vine, exactly. So they're all local purveyors, and they're all bundled with a nationwide company that brought this wonderful team together. We expressed our need to have a really local team. Now, the local team hooked up with a very large company that has enough liquidity to build all their facilities out. So you're going to see local, and that's another reason, a very, very important reason to making sure we maintain that level of customer service. Because you go to George's all the time. You don't want to be gouged if you go to the terminal and order the same thing.
Same price.
So we want to make sure it's the same price.
All right. Thank you. Dee.
Thank you.
I'll be quick, or I can give my time to Mike. I'm sure he'll need it. We just had our car show. It really was a great car show. We had a lot of people, probably about 500 or so cars. It was a really, really good day. I would like to thank the airport for being one of our sponsors. I think I kind of put a little pressure on Mario meetings ago here after he said he was flush. So thank you very much. Anyways, great day. Christmas parade's coming up. Our theme is Go for the Gold. I did leave some entries if you would like to be a part of the parade. Misty May and her husband Matt Trainer, who is a Dodger, will be our Grand Marshals. Also, Jessica Hardy will be there. We're going to invite all the Olympians that were either in this year's Olympics or Paralympics. So we're pretty excited about that. I guess they had a parade last Saturday. I think that went pretty well for the Olympians also. I was out of town, but apparently what I saw, it was pretty good for, you know, getting that together pretty quick. October 20th, we're doing an art walk. We're going to have artists all up and down the street. Nothing's going to be closed down. It's just 9 to 5. Justin Rudd's going to do his chalk art that day also, his contest. We'll have some art from all the local schools and some of the businesses, but just kind of our way to be a part of the Long Beach has Art Month in October. It's not called Global anymore. It's called something else. I'm not really sure. I think they changed the name, but we want to be a part of that. We're going to do something new this year. We're going to help Wilson and Polly out. We really want to help a lot of our schools. You know, as we all know, they need funding. But what we're going to do is Wilson and Polly are actually playing against each other October 26th at that stadium. But on that Wednesday before, we're actually going to do a block party, kind of a Second Street shuffle. For $10, all you need, you can buy a wristband, and you'll get a T-shirt, and you'll get to go up and down Second Street. You can get a massage at DD Thai Spa. That's not my spa. Sounds good. Out front, you can get like a free cupcake at the cupcake place. You can get a free appetizer at Lestrada. I mean, there's a lot of different things. It's only $10. Both schools will collect all the money. It goes back into their fund for their activities side. We'll have the bands down there. They'll do like one little 20-minute band off, probably on Corona. We'll just close the street for about 20 minutes. One will play next, we'll have a lot of cheerleaders, we'll have football teams down. I mean, we should have a lot of people just walking up and down the street. Should be a little fun. Hopefully, it's a tradition. There's a lot of people here that went to Wilson or Polly, so I think it'll be fun.
When is that? Yeah, when is
on Wednesday, the 24th of October. And also, I was at the Parking Commission this morning, and we did talk about the bus pass that we have for our employees in Belmont Shore was extended by the Parking Commission to the end of February. So we're getting the information out to our employees, and I think it's working out pretty well for us down there too. So. Anybody have any questions? Shabu Shabu, that restaurant's supposed to open up mid-October. I just talked to them the other day. Nick's on Second just opened up, and something's going. We're
It's all
hopping.
good. It's all good. Any questions for Dee Dee?
Just one comment, the police department just initiated this comp program, which you.
Oh, right.
And businesses at no cost can hook in their internal security cameras to the police team, so anything happens,
Well,
the police can gain
yes.
access to it, and it's a great.
Well,
thing.
we've been telling our people for a long time now because they're trying, but I think it's just started, so anybody on our street can actually give their, Dan probably know, their IP address, and then it's helpful. So hopefully that'll get going.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on into our program. We're a little late. I had a long list of accolades, but the fact that we're pressed for time.
I'll take one.
I can take one. Actually, how long have you been director of public works? 5 years? 4.5?
5 years in December.
How many months? Every day? No. And about 5 years, and I can tell you when I first joined the city council 6 years ago, my #1 priority was public works. I just thought we were doing an extraordinarily poor job in the city. And one of the reasons that Pat West was selected is our city manager. He also recognized that we could do a lot better than we had done in the past. And Pat had picked Mike to lead that organization, one of the largest organizations in the city, and just say you've done a terrific job. You've weathered the storms.
Thank you. And if you don't know, I do meet weekly with the council person on a long list of items that change on a weekly basis as well. So,
They evolve.
They evolve. Some of them are still there.
Second to PCH?
Second to PCH, still there. But let me first start with kind of recapping FY12. We'll be finishing this fiscal year at the end of this month in a little over a week. And in FY12, we've just finished our sidewalk program in District 3, and we're just starting up our streets program in District 3. We've had some design issues over time which kind of delayed us a little bit, but you'll see some significant construction going on at Livingston Drive right now. We're also starting the residential streets in November and will be completed in December. Those residential streets include 6th Street from Newport to Termino, Loma from 4th to 7th Street, Euclid from 6th to 7th Street, Miramar from 6th to 7th Street, El Cedral from La Perla to El Mirador, and El Mirador from El Parque to El Cedral. All of those will be done by the end of this calendar year. Additionally, this year, we've designed Redondo Boulevard from Broadway to Anaheim, and the expectation is that it will be in FY13 construction. And we also designed Ocean Boulevard from Livingston to Bayshore. That will be in a future CIP program. So as we go into FY13, the council person alluded to the adoption of the budget a couple of weeks ago, which actually was a significant benefit to Public Works. We've had the pleasure of having our budget enhanced over the last couple of fiscal years. It's been a bit of a struggle delivering projects as our staff have been reduced over that same period of time, but of course staff is very diligent and enthused and have been pushing these projects out relatively quickly. For next fiscal year, Council allocated an additional $2.85 million to Public Works for infrastructure projects. $2 million of that will go into the slurry seal program, which was mentioned a little bit earlier, and $850,000 will go into general infrastructure. We will be allocating that to residential streets according to each district's need. They are allocated on a percentage basis. Our $2 million slurry seal program should get us about 6 million square feet of slurry seal citywide. So we are in the process. We've prepared kind of preliminary map that evenly distributes the $2 million by district. We have to go out and field check. We don't have a lot of people who go out and field check, but we expect to have that done probably by the end of October. Because it's the rainy season then, we want to delay actual implementation of the slurry seal program until spring. We need warm, dry weather to do that, so it will probably begin about middle of April. Council also restored our sidewalk program to $3 million. So we look forward again this year to tackling all of the sidewalk programs we have, problems we have citywide. As information, the last survey we did of sidewalks was in 1999. At that time, we identified 60,000 locations that needed repair. As of the beginning of FY13, we've covered 30,000 of them. We're halfway there. So $3 million every year really helps us to continue on that program and get the sidewalk problems behind us. Council also allocated an additional $300,000 on a structural basis, so year after year after year, to our tree trimming program. You may not know that we had been trailing into between a 7 and an 8 year trimming cycle. By the way, City of Los Angeles is on a 42-year trimming cycle. And with that additional allocation of $300,000, we'll be able to maintain our 5-year trimming cycle. So we caught up last year as a result of an additional $565,000 that was given to us for our tree trimming to allow us to catch up. And now we have a structural change every year, so we should be able to maintain our 5-year trimming cycle. So in FY13, we're looking at some design projects in the 3rd district, one of them being Park Avenue from 10th to Anaheim. And we expect to construct 10th Street from Redondo to Zemino. And then I'll be working with the council office to identify a number of residential streets as well. We usually work closely with each office to identify particular needs in that district and how best to allocate those limited funds. If you don't know, the residential streets are funded by Measure R, which is a countywide tax. We typically, the city budgets $4.1 million in revenue from Measure R. That provides about $300,000 per district. Doesn't go very far from a residential street program perspective, which is why they added another $850,000 this year. So we'll get as many streets as we can get done with that limited funds, but along with the slurry seal program, as the council person has indicated, that should help us maintain the streets that are slowly starting to degrade, so that we aren't forced with a 6 to 10 times the cost of repaving those streets in the next few years. So we're hoping this maintenance program will serve to offset some significant costs as we move forward. Livingston Drive should be completed, repaving should be completed by about the end of October, first part of November. Then we'll be coming back in with the new traffic signals in November, so about mid-November, Livingston Drive should be open. Hopefully you'll all enjoy that redesign. It's a challenging street to design with the elevation changes and that rather odd median between the north side and the south side of Livingston Drive, but hopefully you'll enjoy that when that's done, and looking forward to any of your comments as we move forward. That kind of summarized CIP. I know there's a lot of Tidelands programs, projects that are also going on. That's again handled by Eric Lopez on my staff. It is more of a program management for Eric, and he works closely with the city manager's office in deploying those projects into Tidelands. So I won't go into too much detail, as I don't want to say something that Eric will later have to.
And you're almost out of time.
And I'm almost out of time. So I expect there's a few questions. Be happy to take as many as I can.
Marilyn?
When you talked about sidewalks, were you also referring to the curb?
No.
Because we have several curbs and I've reported them. So when you report the actual, where the curb has fallen away, how long does it take to get those repaired?
Actually, yes and no.
Yes and no?
Traditionally, they're separate. Curb is typically part of a street repaving project, not sidewalk. But in Naples, right, isn't Naples, the curb is often part of the sidewalk? Right, it's all one piece of concrete?
If you have a curb and a gutter together, it's going to be part of the street. If it's just a curb and the asphalt goes right up to the curb, we can typically repair that with the sidewalk.
Well, the asphalt goes right up to the curb, but the curb is absolutely disintegrated. I mean, it's gone.
So a couple of points on that. We have a maintenance bureau called the Public Service Bureau. We have one concrete finisher for the entire city. From a maintenance perspective, we can go in and repair probably at the most 5 or 6 linear feet of curb. We don't want to do anything more than that because there could be drainage problems that we're creating. But if you identify locations that are between 4 and 5 feet, we can have our concrete guy go out and repair those. More than that, it's going to be a capital improvement program And that's where we work with the council office in identifying certain streets and sidewalks on an annual basis on how best to spend that.
So then what I've reported to you, Gary, is capital improvement because it's been in your office for about 3 months now, so.
We have.
Let me do this, if you would. Send me a follow-up email, from my
Okay.
email address. Let me look into it and get you a specific answer on this specific address. I mean, it could be anywhere from, you know, it's in queue, and you're 45 days away,
Right.
or it could be different.
Okay,
Send me a note, and we'll respond
I
specifically.
will.
Dan, and then,
The Go Long Beach app,
Yes.
where you're able to take photographs and all, do you receive repair notifications through that,
yeah.
Do I receive them? They are responsive.
routed to you?
They are routed to the Public Service Bureau.
Okay.
And other bureaus and departments that have a Go Long Beach app associated with it. So we don't do like code enforcement, for
Is there
instance.
Parks and Rec?
No, but if somebody were to take pictures, let's say at the disintegrated
Comes into
sidewalk,
one of
you
his
would get it?
It comes into one of my bureaus, and it also gets automatically entered into a work order.
Okay.
So it's an excellent system.
That's perfect.
The app
Let me,
is fun.
if I may, over here, and then let's.
The sidewalk across from Lowell Elementary School, you just recently fixed that, do you know where I'm
Yeah, the
speaking of?
southeast corner.
Right, and it's
Great.
great improvement, but it's all dirt. Is that going to be?
We're close. Irrigation is coming, and then we'll plant it, I'd like to say within 30 days, is that too optimistic?
The landscaping, I think, is.
We're on it.
All right, good. And then I have a
Yeah,
question.
but Gary, don't you think that's sort of, when you're saying we're gonna have to find the monies to do that, getting it done in 30 days might be optimistic
I'm an
since we.
optimist.
Well, yeah, but we've struggled really hard to get people to make donations, so we're putting something in our newsletter, we're working with a parent, but we need people to step forward to help
We do.
fund that, because
Which
it's coming.
newsletter?
Pardon me?
What newsletter?
Belmont Heights.
In the Belmont Heights newsletter?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could talk to you afterwards, but any help that we can get to try to get people to make donations will
If I make
help.
a suggestion, you should maybe contact the Lowell school there and ask if you can put a notice in our newsletter.
Well, what
Because I
else-
don't get
yeah.
your newsletter.
No,
either.
but I met with a parent
Okay.
who has a child going to Lowell, so we're
Okay.
working on that.
And then my other question is, I heard this gentleman speak of Go Long Beach. I'm not sure what that is. You were talking about the
It's an
street
app.
repaving.
It's an app for an iPhone.
Okay,
Right, Go Long Beach or
Or Android.
Or an Android.
Okay.
And say if you see a broken curb in front of your house or,
Okay.
or a sidewalk problem, you actually click on the app, it takes a picture, sends it in, it goes right into Public Works. It's awesome.
because I live on a short street in Alameda's Heights, so the chances of my street ever getting repaved is probably minimal, but it has lots of cracks and dents, and you talk about how it's gonna get worse and worse and worse if you don't fix it, and I can see that happening, so should I use that app?
Well, for a street repave, I would suggest sending us an email in the council office.
Okay.
Mine's Gary@DeLong.com. And it may seem like it'd take a long time. On the other hand, you might get it done, because sometimes, you know, Mike will add this on and say, well, we've got X dollars left over, we can't do a whole street, so you know that
That
small
little
street you
short
have.
street Vermont, it's perfect.
Yeah, it might fit right into the, you know, the numbers
Put
work
that
out.
on the list.
So you don't know.
Okay.
And it could
Okay,
be a
thank
spring
you.
seal candidate as well.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Any questions? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Quick question. 2 days ago, I saw a lady trip and fall in front of 7-Eleven on Ocean, and she tripped and fall on a city repaired sidewalk that had been raised by a tree, and it was asphalt over a concrete. And I thought, gosh, what a Mickey Mouse repair, but I didn't know until today that I'd be seeing you. Do they have new repairs that you can do nowadays instead of removing and replacing the entire concrete, using like American concrete systems where you can do a thin laminate and actually do a workmanship-like repair so it doesn't look like black asphalt over concrete?
Okay, there's a few things I want to say to that, if I can remember them all. One, once we're on notice of a liability, the city is on notice of a liability, we have to go out and do a patch. And the quickest way for us to do a patch is with asphalt. That protects us in the long run from lawsuits.
I saw her trip on the asphalt patch.
Well, you know, sometimes the sidewalk will continue to raise, as you've noticed, and but we still have to react. We have to demonstrate that we are responding to these liability issues. Second, we have looked at removing, lifting up the sidewalk section, removing the roots and putting the sidewalk section down. We actually did a demonstration project